guess it's human nature to be scared of being 600 foot in the air. But there's a phobia, I think, when you can't put one foot in front of the other and it consumes your body. There's a difference between a dislike and a phobia. And yeah, there was a lot of tears on day one. Like, I literally remember I was so bad on the first day that I was voted number 15. But in this way, there weren't a number 16, so that's where I was on the list. And I got into my little camp then, and I thought, if you don't buck your ideas up, you're going home tomorrow. You've come all the way to New Zealand. And I thought, yeah, as you heard there, I didn't know he was going to play that clip. I just wanted to make myself proud a little bit and just do something. Like, I never expected to come back and be like Bear Grylls. Yeah. But I thought, try. And I think when you put your mind to something, you've obviously got to be physically strong to do a show like that. But I think a lot of people don't account for the mentals you have to. The brain is such a powerful thing, and I think sometimes that can override. You could be the strongest person in the world, but if the brain's not letting you do something, or you haven't got the mentals for it, I kind of think it's game over.
Yeah, and you really do have to be in a focused place mentally, don't you, for this? If you haven't watched this series, by the way, I would wholeheartedly recommend it. Georgia Harrison, Pete Wicks from Essex, of course, in the same series as well. So we've got a strong Essex contingent in the series of Celebrity SAS. And we're talking a bit about, putting yourself physically and mentally through some of these challenges, facing your fears and tackling anxiety, which actually, whether you're in SAS or not, this affects a lot of people, some people multiple times every day, doesn't it?
Every day, completely. And I think it's baby steps with things. So again, you can't go out and change the world in a day, but if you can even try, and I think acknowledging it is a big thing, and thinking, what can I do today? And then if you can do a little bit more the next day. And it's easier said than done, especially when it's physically consuming you. But I'm kind of at a mindset where I've got so many, and I still think I'm relatively young, I can't give up the rest of my life and let these win. I think it's because I'm quite stubborn, and I'm a little bit I like to be in control. And sometimes I'm not in control of my own head, and that really is a hard thing to get my head around, because every part of my life, I love a list, I love organisation, but it comes to the old brain upstairs, and that dictates what I'm scared of, and I can't really control that.
But I love the fact that you talk very openly about it, and also you're trying to do something about it. And we've got someone sitting in the studio who can probably enjoy a bit of this conversation as well. This is Jennifer Roblin. Now, Jennifer, you're an anxiety therapist based in Chelmsford, and probably can relate to a lot of what Bobby's been talking about there. Morning to you.
Good morning. Absolutely, Bobby. And you're right. It's the nervous system that puts us in this state of fight and flight, this fear. Yeah. And it's how we need to calm down our nervous system to be able to push on through these things.
What would be, I'm going to have to get your number at the end of this, I'll be with you every week, I'll take you for dinner. What would you say is the number, because I suffer with anxiety, shock, and I think where we're at now, as years go on, it's become quite to say common seems wrong, and I'm not downgrading it, but it's more popular than it's ever been. What do you think the rise of anxiety is?
Well, anxiety has been around forever. It's part of the amygdala, part of the brain that it's the fear centre. And in fact, we wouldn't have survived as a species without anxiety. Yeah. So we look at it as a really negative thing. However, it does serve us. So once we come to terms with that and understand exactly what anxiety is, why we have it, and how we can use it to our advantage, everything starts to change. But it is that fear that needs to be calmed down. We're like a frightened animal.
Yeah.
And what we do, we end up attacking that frightened animal because we're so anxious about being anxious.
Yes.
But if we can just calm our nervous system...
Yes. I so get it. I wonder if people ever say this show, sorry, Son, but I feel like I could do the whole show on this conversation.
It's right, I'll just take a step back.
And I guess human nature, how we've survived is we have to have some kind of anxiety and fear. That's what keeps us alive. But sometimes, when anxiety, like when people really suffer, like myself, and if people have never suffered, they're so lucky, and I'm happy for them. But sometimes people go to me, what are you anxious about? And the thing is, I sometimes don't know. And they think I'm mad. I'll turn around and I'll say, I don't know. And they're like, well, how can you be anxious over something that you don't know what you're anxious of?
Yeah.
And I'm like, but it's, that feeling. Do you suffer yourself?
I used to, which is why I do the job that I do now. Yeah. And it's really hard to explain to someone that doesn't understand anxiety how it feels. But you're absolutely right. It's just the fear, and it does serve us. We do need it, and it's calming us down. And the thing I would say is we need to be specific. So we have a concept of what we're anxious about, but we very rarely break it down to exactly what it is. And when you break it down, you can then be more logical with it because you've got something to deal with. But just a feeling or a concept, it's really hard to move past.
Yeah, you're so right.
And you sort of subconsciously, deliberately, I don't know, but earlier you were talking just a few minutes ago about breaking it down, weren't you, Bobby? So I think you already, it's weird how you kind of instinctively know, even when there's a problem that you feel you can't control, actually you instinctively know what to do.
You're trying to put, like you say, into logic, and I'm thinking, right, again, this bridge moment, I'm thinking, well, it's right that my body's scared to be 600 foot in the air because it's not the safest thing to do. And then, so you try and break it down, but if it just comes as one big wave and you just are lost in that fog, you're never going to be able to digest it. So you kind of got to think, right, rationalise it, which is easier said than done.
Absolutely.
In the midst of a really bad anxiety. So what's the difference between... So I remember the first time I had a heart attack. No, I didn't have a heart attack. I had an anxiety attack, but I thought I was having a heart attack. The first time I ever had one, I was in the shower, I'll never forget.
It's terrifying.
And I know what my trigger was. I won't go into the details, but I was literally in the shower and I laid on the bathroom floor and I thought I'm having a heart attack here, and it sounds really dramatic, but I thought, if I'm going to die, just make it quick. It was so horrendous. Where again, it takes over the whole body.
Yeah, absolutely. And all these, the body's so fascinating. So if you think about it, we're trying to run away from danger.
Yeah.
So we get tension in our legs, our muscles will tighten up. Our blood starts to clot so that if we were attacked, we wouldn't bleed to death. Our digestion shuts down, which is why we have that feeling in our tummies. Our heart starts pumping blood all around our limbs, and our breathing becomes really shallow. And we can start to sweat because it's our body's way of cooling us down if we're about to run away. So our bodies are fascinating.
So when I say it's a physical thing, I'm not being dramatic. It really is a physical thing.
100%, yeah.
And what do you think about Bobby? I've got to go to the news in a tick. What do you think about Bobby doing what he did with Celebrity SAS? I don't know if you've seen it, if you're aware of how it works, but I mean, these are just epic challenges, things that you've got to do if you're in the SAS. To be able to do that for someone like Bobby who really struggles with anxiety, as he's mentioned there, that's incredible, isn't it? To confront it.
It is incredible, and it's putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, into your stretch zone. And when you're in your stretch zone, that's when you're going to grow the most.
Yeah.
So well done, Bobby, for doing that.
Thank you so much. It's the hardest thing I ever did, but when I come back, I was like, it's the best thing I've done in my life.
Yeah.
And like you say,
it's a sense of achievement.
100%. Thank you so much.
I could talk to you all morning as well. In terms of some of the strangest things that people are scared or worried about, have you sort of come across some more unusual things?
Yes, I have. And she may be listening. One of my clients was scared of yellow bricks.
Oh, wow. Yellow bricks? What, like plastic toy ones? Paving ones?
Mm-hmm. And we were able to work it out that she'd been in an abusive relationship, and outside the house was yellow bricks. So when she needed to go down Bond Street and she saw the yellow paving stones, she physically couldn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was a strange one.
And do you think, a lot of people are getting much more anxious now because of work and the commute, and, there'll be a lot of people stuck in traffic this morning. Life, I say this, a lot of people say this, life is getting more full on, it feels.
100%, and we used to be scared of tigers, that's, predators. But now it's our inboxes, our relationships, our work, our social media, the comparisons, it's everything.
Oh, it's fascinating talking to you. Thank you so much for coming in. Jennifer Roblin, who's an anxiety therapist based in Chelmsford. Fresh